Hello. We're at a local guarantor firm to interview the main players in a security transaction that took place earlier today. Transactions like this take place every minute all over the U.S. and Canada. The significance of this particular event is that it was one of the first conducted by a newly certified guarantor user. The stamp certification program was implemented with the purpose of teaching guarantor medallion users how to best protect their customers from fraud. The program is geared toward the branch or retail operation first, while being equally effective for main office or institutional processing. The 6 online lessons contain a mix of subjects that instruct authorized employees on the fundamental liabilities, risks, and best practices connected to the administration of a medallion guarantee. The program can be applied at any location that a guarantor desires. The only prerequisite is a PC and an authorized guarantor user that cares about the best interests of their customers. Now, allow me to introduce the participants in this transaction. We have Mr. McKeon, who is the customer, Kelly, the branch manager, and Carolyn, who is the medallion guarantor user. Let's get right into the details. Mr. McKeon, since the customer is the initiator of transactions and has the most to gain or lose from a guarantor's process, please share with us your reaction to today's interaction with Carolyn.
Thank you, Cheryl. You know, I've been a customer of this firm for more than a decade, and Nancy and I had reason to request signature guarantees many times for both my stock and mutual fund holdings. My initial reaction is that it was a different process which seemed more orderly and concise than my previous experiences, but it didn't take any longer. I think maybe some uncertainties that may have been involved in the past were replaced by more focused questions and balanced out the time required for the interview.
Kelly, I think you're probably pleased to hear Mr. McKeon's comments. What's the significant improvement?
Yes, I am pleased and lucky to have such an observant customer as Mr. McKeon. To begin with, I should say that we've been aware of the stamp workshops, but never seemed to be able to attend one. Either the location or our own work schedules always seem to get in the way. That's why the initiation of the certification program and the availability of the eSource website was so welcome. We finally have a convenient tool to really train our staff, along with a supportive website that is chock full of helpful information. Obviously, we're very pleased with the program. With our own internal resources, we're able to fashion new policies and procedures that brought our liability and risk under control without any inconvenience to our customers. But Mr. McKeon said that better than I could.
Thanks for the overview. Are there any things that come to mind that were particularly helpful?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I need a second to think. Not in any order of importance, but I guess the description of the Uniform Commercial Code and the warranties that we make when guaranteeing a signature, along with the surety bond description and what the bond limits mean, and the best guarantor practices was a real eye-opener, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I guess, but there's so much.
Right. That's okay. Don't be sorry. Your enthusiasm is great. It appears that there is a good reason to be excited. And Carolyn, would you like to add anything to Kelly's comments?
The biggest thing I learned is that a medallion guarantee is a lot more important than a notary. I always regarded stamp as different, but I had no idea how different.
Thanks. But are there any specific items that you've learned?
Let's see. I knew you'd ask me that, and I have to think a moment. I guess I'm more interested in the operational details, and the central theme of knowing your customer, the old KYC, hit home with me. But 2 other noteworthy details for me were the importance of identifying the full ownership of the asset, especially for mutual funds where there is no certificate, along with determining the exact value of the transaction. In the past, we didn't realize the importance of having that information, and frankly, we took guesses or relied on our customers for input. A lot of uncertainty. All in all, I feel I have more control of the process.
Oh, may I interrupt? Carolyn reminded me of something really important regarding controls.
Sure, jump right in.
Stamp eSource has many downloadable documents, one of them being a sample control log. Well, I provided copies to our compliance and risk management folks, and we customized the sample to fit our particular needs. Actually, we retained everything that was there and added our own features. The log provides a checklist for our certified guarantors and, of equal importance, an audit trail to review if there are ever any inquiries.
Thanks, boss. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, thank you, ladies, for the interplay.
As long as we're all butting in, may I say a few words?
Well, of course, Mr. McKeon. After all, this is all about protecting your interests.
I'd like to chime in on the organization of our meeting and professional way I was treated this morning. The data lookup that Carolyn did to get the exact price for my stock was impressive. And by now, I realized that while we were chatting, Carolyn verified my account, checked my signature, and even told me about the fact that I had joint accounts with Nancy. Also, now I know that Carolyn was completing the log when she turned to scribble things on her desk.
You're absolutely right. We do make notations immediately so nothing is missed, and we check the next item.
I thought so. Just a final comment. I feel I'm being well served by the improvements you've made. You are truly making every effort to protect me from fraud, down to looking at my photo ID. If I were the president of this institution, I'd send a copy of this interview to every one of your customers. By the way, that power of attorney thing is already on its way to Nancy by express mail.
Well, I think it's time for me to really have the final word. If viewers of this interview are already certified, we hope you share the same opinions heard today. If not, we suggest that you make every effort to certify, so you may share in the same benefits. Thank you, Kelly and Carolyn, and a special thanks to Mr. McKeon for your candor.